Welcome into another Sunday night edition. Pop Blender Unfiltered, number 40. For those of you that are interested, without further ado, let me introduce Otis McDonald and the band. Woo! Come on, Otis. Bring it hard now. Turn that man up for a second. All right, my boy Otis, hanging tough, hanging loose. What is going on with y'all on a Sunday? A Mission Impossible Sunday, a Lilo and Stitch Sunday. Man, I can't wait to get with Matthew on Tuesday night and go over a few topics. Got a few topics to go over tonight. Man, oh man. Not going to get too deep in the woods. I know some people don't like getting too deep. They don't like putting them waders on or the scuba gear. So we'll stay a little light today. My son is over. He's out for the summer. Got all summer long to work and hang out and mess about and get my ass beat and all that good stuff. So I bet you do, my friend. I bet you do. Anyway, let's see here. Let me get a little tighten up. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a good week. Hope you guys had a good week. We did have Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning that came out. Doing pretty good. I got a chance to see it myself. I will describe how without getting too into detail, if you know what I mean. Lilo and Stitch, not a movie that I have any attachment to. That's doing gangbusters as it should. And even though Disney changed some of the characters and plot, it's going to do well because it's an animated feature. And if they did it right, it's really going to do gangbusters, and parents are going to go take their kids. That's for sure. I mean, without a doubt. But anyway, so it is Sunday, May 20-something. I don't really care about that. Days roll by, and I don't pay attention to them. We will get into the chat here momentarily, but I did want to talk about something that happened to me the last couple days. Is I got some emails. Exciting emails. Now, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I usually go through Hasbro and Pulse to get all my G.I. Joe classified. If I have to hunt something down on Amazon or BBTS or, whatever, I will, but I've really never been pushed to that point. So where I'm at is that I usually just order my stuff from Pulse, and then it's not that I forget about it. It's just that it's just there. I know they're going to ship it eventually. I'm not trying to make a review. I'm not trying to be the first on the block. If I am that lucky, like with Nemesis Immortal, and I realize, wow, I got this guy really early, I'll make a review just to get the views. I mean, that's being selfish, but it is what it is. But for most of these figures, I don't review them, and I'm not worried about getting them first. I just like to have them. All of them are still in the box, if that tells you anything. So I got an email saying that the retro carded Viper is on the way. He'll be here Tuesday. Then I got an email that said Dr. Mindbender's on the way. Then I got an email that said Rock and Roll is on the way. So I am looking forward to those. I'm not worried about having them first. I know I'm not going to have them first. I know there's better reviews out there anyway, or a review, like Shark Eyes, for instance, that you guys all know. Shark Eyes did a great review. I've had fun watching the May Power of the Force stuff, actually. And I went back and watched Woody's for the second time. And that one really, really gets me. It's goofy. You could tell he didn't care, but he was having fun with it. And so, yeah, I've had fun looking at those. But nonetheless, so yeah, hopefully these retro figures will get here. And then I know that my wallet's going to take a hit the month of Joe Fest, which kind of sucks. Because I have a feeling it's going to be one after another after another. It's been a dry spell, and I want it to rain. I need it to rain. Let's get into it. Let's talk to the chat a little bit. I know there's a few people watching, a few people lurking. Triple D's Dungeon. Triple D, I watched your video, your first video, talking about the channel and what you want to do and everything. Threw a comment up in there too. So yeah, man, Triple D, keep rolling with it. Ain't nothing wrong with a shameless plug. I don't care. I don't care. If you want to tell people about a video you did or whatever, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. 3-star draws here. Don't forget to grab your coffee. I did made sure I grabbed my coffee. War Chest says, how am I on time, but Pop is late? I knew I was going to be a couple minutes. I had to fix dinner. We did French toast for dinner, folks. French toast for dinner. When's the last time you did French toast for dinner? Not breakfast for dinner. French toast for dinner. When's the last time you did that? I'd say it was probably like a neighbor's mom on your block that made you French toast. Whatever that means. But we did French toast for dinner tonight, and it was freaking awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let's see. Turk Murphy's is here. What's up, Turk? Johnny Reno always with the cheers. I did have a shot a little while ago. Okay, 2 shots a little while ago. To get into the mood. War Chest, I feel you. I feel you again. Wait a minute. Don't clip that. Menjosa's in the house. What's up, Menjosa? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Bobby Wold's hanging out too, man. This is I'm almost to the point where I'm gonna put Dial Tone's picture on a milk carton if that still happens. My Dial Tone is just as missing as yours is. It reminds me of being a kid when you couldn't find him anywhere for whatever reason. That wave of figures as a kid, Dial Tone was nowhere to be found around here. No matter how many CVS's or at that time Super X, if you guys remember Super X, Pharmacy, Walgreens, right? Toys R Us, Walmart, KB Toys, or oh hell, what was the other name of it? Circus Toys, I think, something like that. You couldn't find him. You could not find Dial Tone anywhere around our area until 3-star draw somehow magically came up with Dial Tone for me. But that's what it feels like around here. That's what it feels like around here, is that it's been far and few between. It's been a dry spell, and but now starting to get charged. Hopefully that'll continue. As much as I hate it, I want to get these figures in. Yeah, Triple D's. I watched the Power of the Force video. I thought I commented on it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I did. But I also watched your channel update, starting your channel, and I think I said something like, "Hey, you know, the YouTube bug has bitten you. Henceforth, you shall move forward." Known as Triple D's Dungeon. And I get why you called it Triple D's Dungeon. I totally understand. Then I watched a few of Woody's videos because I couldn't help myself. Woody, the weekly pickups. Oh, that's me. The weekly pickups is freaking awesome. It's always awesome. But I always forget to leave a comment, so I need to make sure I engage with those videos more. Let's see. I did watch the May Power of the Force video, actually. Hang on real quick. Getting a I'm getting a text message as we speak from my mom, who is in Switzerland. Pardon me momentarily. But anyway. Okay. Sorry for the delay, y'all. I know that makes great videos, makes great content, right? Dead Space. Anyway, so let's see. Johnny Reno, Circus World. That's it. Circus World. 3-star draw has it. Circus World. Johnny Reno says Dial Tone was the first 86 figure I bought. He was everywhere in Arizona. Man, you couldn't get him anywhere around here. Okay, Matthew. I have a story to bring up about Rust, actually. I want to bring it up. Not that it's a big deal. We can talk about it on Tuesday, but I thought I'd bring it up today just for a quick second. But Matthew Masson's in the house, so thank you for hanging out, tuning in, and wrenching. I don't think you're going to really have to do too much work as a wrench, that's for sure. Johnny Reno got my army of 16 Retro Vipers today. Holy Jesus. I can't even imagine what that feels like. I can't even imagine. G.I. Jetman, what's up? What's really going on? All right. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw this story that I'm about to bring up here. Yes, it's a sad day. Avengers delayed. Marvel pushes Doomsday and Secret Wars to December 2026 and 2027. It's a damn shame. It says Doomsday is now set to debut on December 18th, 2026 during that all-important Christmas break. It was supposed to come out in May of next year. And I think May would have been... I mean, look, Christmas break, you can milk this sucker for 3 weeks while kids are out of school. Having it come out in May, especially May 1st, kids are still in school, taking exams. It only makes sense to push this back. I mean, I think also, too, they are doing some reshoots. So I think it's critical that they get this right. They have to get Doomsday right. Because if they don't, the follow-up ain't going to cut it. Whether it's fatigue, whether it is new characters, people are not going to show up in masses like they did in the golden years of the 2012 to like 2019 era. 2013 to 2019, where it was a can't miss for Marvel and for the Avengers, just hands down. It looks like they're going to move the sequel, Secret Wars, up to December 17th, May 27th. So they had them about a year apart. They're keeping that timetable, but they're just moving the timetable forward 7 months. I'm okay with it. I would rather them get it right than to rush them, them rush something out and it not hit all the beats. And okay, so here's the trick. I'm gonna tell you guys. I know a guy that I met recently, and he is in the VFX business. He has worked on some TV shows and movies. He does composite work. He is currently working on the Stephen King prequel It series for Max. He is currently compositing shots for that. And I met him, and I've got his card. We've talked several times. I'm going to have him on the show hopefully more than one time moving forward. I'd like to have him on with Matthew and I would like to have him on with me to get into the world of VFX. And there's something funny he told me. He said, it's funny because like I want to talk about it, but what you talk about is important. And I knew exactly where he was coming from. He told me, I met a girl and she was all interested in what I did, and she knew about all the Marvel movies, and she knew about, and she wanted to know, how is the sausage made? Dangerous phrase. And he was like, okay, well, I'll show you. And so she sat down and he sat down, he started getting to work. And she was bored to tears in like 15 minutes. So what he meant was, how the sausage is made, it's his job. Compositing VFX shots, probably not the most exciting thing for someone like ourselves to watch. But to discuss the VFX industry, some of the problems that have plagued it as far as studios changing direction, changing scenes, just whether or not looking at certain shots that he thinks is good quality CGI or not, VFX. So I thought it'd be fun, try to get him on the channel and talk to him. So I think it'll be a good time. He's a really good dude. Very, very, dude, the dude's voice is aces. That's all I'm going to say. He'll slay ya. Stanley Eberhard is here. What's up, Stanley? For those of you jumping in and jumping out, man, feel free. I don't know if there's another stream going on tonight, but hope you'll stick with me for a little while. Now the one thing about these Avengers delays, what is this going to do for the Spider-Man Brand New Day? What will this do for maybe some of the other releases? We don't really know. I mean, Spider-Man might end up going first. I mean, it might end up, coming out first, and then you have like after credit scenes that have to be changed, right? Other scenes that have to be changed. But I think like G.I. Jetman said, I think this will help the movies, make them better. I agree. I have no problem if they decide to delay and reshoot until they get the product that they want. Because they got to nail it. They have to nail it with this. We saw the reveal with all the chairs. It was a 5-hour live stream where they revealed one chair at a time. We're talking about bringing in Patrick Stewart, right? We're talking about bringing in a lot of the old school folks. And some of them aren't getting any younger. And so, hey, think about this, Bobby, real quick, because I don't mind jumping off that for a second. Think about if we were in the middle, or we were getting ready to be in the middle of the Kang Dynasty. Like, that's where we would be right now. If all that hadn't happened, that's where we would be right now, is in the middle of the Kang Dynasty. And I'm not so sure that anybody really wanted that. The Loki series had He Who Remains, but realistically, I'm not sure anybody really wanted the Kang Dynasty, considering how it got started. But that's where we would be at right now. If all of that shit didn't go down with Jonathan Majors, that is where we would be right now. And it's hard to think about, because they basically erased it and washed their hands. But it is curious to think about that. That's where we would be if Jonathan Majors was still attached and a part of this franchise, or the Avengers franchise, MCU, right? Yeah, G.I. Jetman, Kelsey Grammer is beast. That's great. Love it. I mean, look, a lot of those choices, a lot of those chairs that they had, those reveals, it's fan service. Everybody wants it. I will say this. Robert Downey coming back as Doom. Okay. Chris Evans as Hydra Cap is happening, in my opinion. Absolutely happening, in my opinion. As much as I don't like it, I believe Hydra Cap is happening. Yeah, Patrick Stewart. Here we go. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen. Are we getting Famke too? If I remember, I can't remember if they rolled out her name in the chairs. You guys will correct me if I'm wrong. Joe Fan 84, what's up, buddy? Says I got my son a whole week now that it's summer vacation. I love it, love it, love it. Triple D's Junction says I would rather see Nomad than Hydra Cap. I'm with you there. Marsden, yep. I mean, we could look at all the chairs or look at a list of all the chairs reviewed. And one day I kind of want to do that, or I kind of want to do that with Matthew on one of our streams and just kind of go down that list. Because here's the deal, folks. When those movies were made 20 years ago plus, and you look at who starred in them, like the X-Men movies, right? Or other movies where they've drawn some of these other characters. Those actors were either A, in a different place, you know, they looked different, or they were a lot younger. I've seen enough bands, I've seen enough reunion tours to know that the older you get, the harder it is to recreate the magic. And I had a good friend of mine, and forgive me for saying this, because you guys know me. I'm a pearl-clutching, non-cussing type of person, right? I had a real good friend of mine, a bass player that I played drums for and with for years. And he used to have a phrase. And we used to talk about older bands getting older, right? Going out on tour. And he used to have a phrase. It sounds like old people fucking. You get what I'm saying? Because it's hard to recreate the magic. And the older that you get, the less convincing it is that you can do this and that and jump and throw. There's only so much makeup. I mean, God knows now they'll use AI to make you look younger, right? De-aging technology. If you're James Earl Jones, they'll just steal your voice and throw it in a Fortnite game so you can talk about big-bootied Latinas. But for a long time, it was, you know, the older you got, the harder it is to do. And I love the phrase, it's like old people fucking. See, look, exactly, Matthew. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I saw Metallica in 1993. Watching Metallica now, for me, as much as I respect the band, is like old people fucking. Henceforth, in movies, especially action movies, action-involved movies, it's going to be hard to make it really believable that Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are super active. A lot of razzle-dazzle, a lot of camera shots, a lot of editing, a lot of ADR. So you get my drift. I mean, look, it is what it is. Warchest says not looking forward to the new movies, to be honest. Robert is Doom is not my jam. And I fully understand that too. I think we're going to be kidding ourselves if we think that wasn't done for nostalgia bait, fan bait, because they needed to bring back the magic. Well, how do we bring back the magic? Well, everybody loved RDJ. Okay, well, let's back up a dump truck full of money to his door and let's ask him if he'll come in and do a Dr. Doom. You don't have to play detective to figure out the Dr. Doom character that's played by Robert Downey Jr., right? Like, we don't have to do that, do we? Does any of us think that he's truly the bad guy in these films? Does any of us truly think that's going to stick, that that's what the plan is? I appreciate them bringing him back in for whatever. That's fine with me. I harbor no ill will, but I get it. And yes, G.I. Jetman, you are right. They are connected in the comics. The comic line has been done. It has been done before. And so, look, man, if they take it, they have fun with it. And Johnny Reno, unfortunately, I have. You ever stayed at a Holiday Inn in the 90s? You ever stayed at a Holiday Inn in the 90s, man? I mean, it is what it is, if you know what I mean. Maybe they've thickened up those hotel walls. Maybe they thickened them up a little bit. But back in the day, I'd be renting a hotel room with my girlfriend hanging out, and then you go out to get ice, and you'd see like this older couple going back in, and a little while later, you'd hear the wall thumping, and then you'd be like, that's what it was like. Oh Lord, YMCA. All right, let's see here. Dump truck full of money. Just for RDJ, not even a wheelbarrow for Jeremy Renner. Yeah, and Jeremy said recently that he wasn't really, they offered him half the money to come back. But let's look, okay. Bobby, let's talk about this. Let's go through this a second. You tell me who was more important to the Avengers franchise, the MCU. Jeremy Renner or Robert Downey Jr.? Because we can't kid ourselves. Like, Hawkeye was a cool character, but even in those films, he didn't have as much screen time. He didn't have as many lines, right, as Chris Evans and RDJ, right? So I get it. I get what you're saying, and it is pretty crappy that they didn't even offer him half of what he made for season 1 of Hawkeye, which should have been really Kate Bishop, I guess. So I understand with his comments, but none of us were coming to the Avengers for Hawkeye, were we? I mean, were we? Who was coming to the Avengers movies for Hawkeye? I would say we were all going for Cap and Iron Man. Maybe, for those that love Sam Jackson, Ben Fury. I mean, I just can't imagine Hawkeye. He wouldn't bring in the same salary. He wouldn't even bring in the same salary as he did during, like, Infinity War and Endgame, in my opinion. But I do feel for the guy because he absolutely got run over by a fucking snowplow or whatever the fuck it was. Right? Yeah, I'm with you, War Chest. Bring the X-Men. Bring the X-Men. I'm just worried what they're going to do with the X-Men. I'm just worried what they are going to do with that storyline. I'm really worried how they're going to try to pull it. Hey, Joe fan. Yeah. You keep on watching, baby. Johnny Reno says, I've never stayed in a hotel, motel, or Holiday Inn. If your girl starts acting up, then you take her friend. That's too bad, Johnny. I stayed in all 3. Renner, you know what? Will he be back for nostalgia's sake? Sure. But I think he needs to accept that he's not the main draw. Right? Hotel, motel. Red Roof Inn. Okay, changing the lyrics. 3-star. Here we go. Triple D's Dungeon says, half the money is still a half the money is still a wheelbarrow full. It's a character he's already established, doesn't have to create I agree. I mean, the easiest thing to do would be to bring him in as the character. Now, Johnny, I don't. I got to disagree with you on that one. I think Robert Downey is a hell of an actor. Renner is good. But man, I don't know. RDJ's done some good stuff. RDJ brought Tony Stark to life. I love Renner, but he's not the quintessential actor to play the role. I mean, look, Renner's a good actor either way. They're both great actors, right? So, but these characters that we've come to learn and love and know and feel a part of, that's, no one else is going to play that character. Now, that's a problem for Disney because instead of recasting the MCU, they decided to kill off Cap and Tony Stark. And that's going to work to their detriment, not their benefit. But had they gone ahead and recast these roles, we might have been able to maybe see something other than the last 5 years of what we've gotten. They would have been able to maybe continue. The Phoenix Saga, Jet Man, I don't know. They tried it. Sophie Turner, Famke Janssen, it wasn't good. Either one of them wasn't good. With what they did in the early 2000s, and what they did recently. Neither one of those takes were good. Stanley Eberhard says Infinity Wars, Carrie Coon, Proxima Midnight was lowball for Endgame, thus did not return. I know, and that's a shame. That's a shame. I read the article, Stanley, that they didn't offer her any money. You talk about Jeremy Renner getting half the pay to come back. Okay, Carrie Coon got offered no extra pay to come back. It's even worse. Bucky the Shield, give Hulk his nuts back. 100%. Sam is Falcon. He's not Cap. He's Falcon. Bucky deserved the shield. Should have had the shield. We've said that up and down on this show and with Matthew on Tuesday nights, up and down until I'm blue in the face. Downey hasn't anything good since the 80s. Ooh, I don't know. What was it? Dr. Doolittle? What the? I don't know, man. I would love to see Jeremy Renner continue on in the Bourne Legacy. It is kind of funny they brought him in for one, right? One and done. Joe Fan says, my dog, my dang cats just brought in a flying squirrel. Holy shit. Ugh. For you pet owners, that's Bad News Bears right there, isn't it? Weird science. Yeah, the cats and dogs bringing in random animals, never good, right? Let's see here. Squirrel, Phoenix Saga, all that shit. Phoenix Saga, yeah. I just don't think they've done it well. They didn't do it well back then, and they haven't done it well with Sophie Turner. I don't think either one of those was actually done well. Bad Storm, yeah. Let's see. G.I. Jetman says, Pop, what do they mean? A soft reboot? Are they going to redo the... No. I'm trying to figure out, G.I., what you're talking about with a soft reboot. What I was talking about is they should not have killed off those characters in Endgame, and then they could just recast them and continue on with new stories. I don't see a reboot happening with that. Tropic Thunder, yeah, he was great in Tropic Thunder. But yeah, GI, I don't see a full reboot. You know, you understand, War Chest, the real Taskmaster was a woman, right? You do realize that, right? Okay, wait. Let me correct that. It was a man in the suit, but it was a woman's head CGI'd onto the body. So I guess that's up for debate. Right. Oh, Lord. Oh, gosh. Boy, do I have some pictures for y'all. Anyway, I am looking forward to it. Look, as much as you guys probably think I hate on everything and I hate on, like, I want to have that feeling back. I want that feeling of going to the movies, being excited for a movie like Civil War, staying for the post-credit scene because it meant something. You know, characters that were in another movie that weren't the main focus point somehow come back in a new movie. They are the main focus point. Like, I want all of that. That's fun. That's fun for audiences. It's fun for people to try and discern what's going on. It's just been bad stuff. Like, it's just been bad stuff the last few years. I mean, it literally has been the MCU without a doubt. I mean, it just has been. Kevin Feige said he wanted to have equal 50-50 male to female superheroes. Well, they did more than that. They went above and beyond the Call of Duty in the phase, was it phase 5? Phase 4? Phase 4. Is that they went almost 2-to-1 in the number of female heroes to male heroes. And while nothing intrinsically is wrong with that, not only did they not do a good job with the films and the TV shows, but the characters they used were characters that people just didn't care about. I'm not saying you don't care about them, but the masses, the majority. If you look at what the MCU was up until Endgame, you couldn't throw a rock without finding somebody who was going to those movies, who loved those movies. Right? Like, you couldn't throw a rock without hitting somebody that loved every one of those movies. Hell, I love Age of Ultron. Sue me. I still like that movie. I recognize it for its faults, but it came during that period where these heroes were fucking rocking, man. They ain't been rocking for a minute. That's just the truth. G.I. Jetman says, hey, if you get a chance, watch a replay of the MCU live stream I did on Friday. I ranked my 10 best and worst villains in the MCU. Dig it. I will go back and check that out for sure. G.I., hell yeah. Triple D says female Taskmaster, so she could wash dishes and do laundry perfectly after seeing it done only once. She could replicate your moves. How dare you? How dare you? Triple D's. That wasn't a horrible joke. That's pretty good. Let's not kid ourselves. Matthew says, Age of Ultron was bad. Not as bad as Phase Bore. Yeah, look, I know Age of Ultron was not well revered, but hey, I dug it. But I also recognize there's bad parts in the movie. It's definitely not the best. But again, it just goes to show you that, like, you can like what you like, you know, and if somebody has an opinion, they think it's not that great, that's fine. It is what it is. But you know what you enjoy. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's all about what you care about. Woody Triple Deuces in the house says Age of Ultron was the Godfather compared to the shit we get now. See, that's what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that Woody summed it up in a way that I failed to do so, is that I would still take Age of Ultron over the bullshit that we have been getting with the Marvels, Miss Marvel, the Eternals, WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, Loki. I mean, let's not, come on, man. Like, let's quit playing games. Ultron was better than all that shit put together. What's up, Woody? Oh, Lord. Anyway, so the Avengers have been delayed. That's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think that will help ultimately if they can tighten it up. Let it bake in the oven for a little while and give us a fantastic story. Give us a good story. Speaking of Marvel, and I'm not going to go too deep into this. Speaking of Marvel, I saw this headline. From the Direct. And I had to laugh because I knew what they were talking about. War Chest says Ultron was way better than most of the shit we've gotten for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. It is. Dreadnought K6, what's up, buddy? In the house. Triple D says, how come no one is talking about the epic that was Kraven? Because no one saw Kraven. That would be my guess. And it has nothing to do with the, nothing MCU. Yeah, nobody's with you. Okay, so Marvel announces historic release for its next Disney Plus show. Now, do you guys want to guess what that show is? Marvel Studios announces historic release for its next Disney Plus show. Now, that sounds important. That sounds heavy. That sounds huge. Right? Todd C. What's up, Todd? So, Marvel Studios announces historic release for its next Disney Plus show. It will have a release schedule never before seen from Marvel Studios. That's right, folks. You got it. You named it. Marvel Studios' Ironheart will have its first 3 episodes released on Disney Plus. June 24th. This will be the first time that any Marvel Studios show will have a 3-episode premiere. And still have more episodes left to make their debut on Disney Plus after the first week. What? You just said come holler at me. I can't read my phone right now. What's the deal? I can't even. Sorry, y'all. My son's trying to show me something. Stop it. What? What? All right. Anyway. All right. The little fella. I say little fella. He's taller than me.
Hey, yeah, get that right next time.
Trying to text me in the middle of the show. I'm like, just show me. All right. So here's the deal. This is not an unprecedented release schedule. All right. 3-episode premiere. Oh, I don't know. Andor. Like, hello. I think other shows have done this. There is literally like what the it's because it's not an MCU release. This is unprecedented. The headline alone, historic release for its next show. Get out of here. Like, hello. Yeah. Echo. First day, all day, right? Woody, you are 100% correct. They should premiere it all in one day to get rid of it. War Chest has put it out hot and fast so people forget about it. Social media gets over it. They have sat on this show for 3 years. They want this to be over. It's going to be painful. This is them ripping the Band-Aid off. Finally. This is basically amputating their foot. If I had to guess, this is the amputation of the the Ironheart foot. And GI, look, GI is gonna watch it. Keep us informed, man. Keep us informed. Let us know. Oh gosh. Oh, Woody. Beautiful. Because the thing of it is, I don't think most people are going to tune in for it. If you've seen the trailer, you pretty much know what you're in for. I mean, it just is. But to call this a historic, release schedule, that is extreme hyperbole. That is really pumping this thing up. And it's extremely disingenuous by the direct. Whoever Richard Nebbins is, Richard, you should be ashamed of yourself. You need to go in a timeout, Richard. No more articles for you, Richard, until you take a deep, hard, long look at yourself and quit writing articles like this. Richard, seriously. That's gonna be a disaster. I mean, it just is. It's if this show ekes out a 40%, 45% Rotten Tomato score, I will be shocked. Okay. Let's see here. I got a few fun stories we're gonna look at. I think they'd be cool. Like, what do stars drive? I got a list of cars that the stars drive. We'll look through that, see what movie stars, what kind of car they drive. That's kind of fun. I did want to bring up this story for no other reason, and you'll see it when I bring it up. I did want to bring this up. Sydney Sweeney teases the unhinged Euphoria Season 3. That's right. If you guys are a fan of Euphoria, I've only seen a couple episodes with Zendaya, but Sydney Sweeney teases unhinged Euphoria Season 3. There's only one reason. Well, there's two reasons I brought up this article, and we are going to keep them on the screen for just a few more seconds. Yeah, I don't care about Euphoria. I just want to see Sydney Sweeney. Not gonna lie. That's the only reason I even brought it up. Oh, yeah, I've heard. I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah, Matthew Madsen. If the stars drive or fly in anything, they're disingenuous. Yes, it is, especially if they talk about carbon footprint. Okay, I know there's a movie that y'all care deeply about. I know there's a movie that you guys have been really, truly simping for. Let's not kid ourselves. And it ends its theater run. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Your favorite, my favorite, Captain America Brave New World ends its theater run. How much did it make? Well, I will say this, for those of you interested. This week, it will start streaming on Disney+. So if you are one of the lucky ones that held out from watching said movie, and you have Disney+, well, there you go. You can watch it. I decided to sail the high seas and watch that movie, and it wasn't even worth that. But the theater run is over for Captain America Brave New World. Its domestic tally, $200,500,000 to finish things up. Internationally, $213 million. For a total of $413 million with a $180 million budget. Add another $100 million onto that, Disney's taking a loss. How much did the previous 3 Captain America movies gross in theaters? Well, let's see. First Avenger, $370 million against a $140 million budget. So, probably took a loss. Winter Soldier, $259 million domestically, $454 internationally for $714 million against a $170 million production budget. So Winter Soldier crushed it. Just crushed it. Right? Like, without a doubt. Civil War was the one that it made $1.1 billion against a $250 million budget. So the 2 out of the 3 Captain America movies just crushed it. And to go from that back to this has to be a huge, huge disappointment for Sam Wilson and company. Do better, Senator. Do better. Yeah, $180 million, I agree. As a budget. Like I said, $180 million. Tack on another $100 for the, for the print, the media and everything, advertising, right? But you can catch it on Disney Plus coming up this week. So make sure you guys tune in to Disney Plus. You will get some of that Sam Wilson goodness. And what was his partner? The other guy, whatever, the Puerto Rican dude or whatever. So who knows? Nobody remembers. But anyway, and Red Hulk. Yes, Red Hulk makes an appearance about, I don't know. He's in the movie for maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes total, I think, something like that. Geriatric Harrison Ford turns into the Red Hulk, and he's in it for a total of about 5 minutes. Enough to not drive people to the theater, that's for sure. Oh, Lord. There are some stories that I kind of want to save for Matthew on Tuesday night. I'm trying to make sure that I keep a few things interesting for Tuesday night that I think you guys will like. I am going to give my review of Mission Impossible Final Reckoning here in just a little bit. So, I've talked a lot about Andor. I've talked a lot about how much I like it, how much I enjoy it, how much that I think you guys need to see it. I think it's one of the best things they've done on Disney. I think it's one of the best things they've done on in Star Wars, period. Joe Fan canceled Disney Plus. I get it. Dreadnought K6 says, hey, still going to hold out. I'd pirate anything I'd watch from Disney, but they haven't put anything that has piqued my interest. War Chest says that movie was a joke, talking about Captain America. There is a pirate site called F Movies that is kind of under attack right now. Let's see here. Good luck, Joe Fan. Yeah, you can't cancel. Yeah, you can't cancel Disney Plus. No one can. And Turk says, I seen this last Captain America. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best. Yeah, it was very nonplussed. It wasn't terrible. It had nothing to really bring to the table, Turk, right? Like, it just didn't have anything that would make you go, man, I've got to see that movie. And I think Sam Wilson does better as Falcon than he does as Captain America, and actually being the leading role. I would have loved to have seen a John Walker or a Bucky. Like John Walker and Bucky, give me that all day. I take that shit all day long. Zendaya is someone who has been hired, Dreadnought, for her Instagram followers, not for her talent. War Chest. There's no telling. Right. Now, the one thing I will say is that I have seen scenes, clips of Anthony Mackie being a normal, regular dude, being a guy. You know, talking about, hey, girl, get in there and make me a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen those clips. I mean, for real. We're going to talk about it Tuesday because we're going to go more in depth, Matthew. Unless you're talking about Andor. If you're talking about Andor, let me know. Because I don't have to get into this. I got plenty of other stuff I can bring up. Dude, the Wendy Williams. Oh, yeah. That Wendy Williams clip of him, of Anthony Mackie and Wendy Williams, classic. Absolutely classic. Most definitely. Let's see here. Yeah, War Chest. I would love to see Charlie Sheen on the back of Red Hulk with a cocaine backpack. Master Blaster style. I'm with you, baby. Give me that game all day long. And, yeah, I'm not worried about spoiling the movie. 3-star. I will say this, for those that want to go see it and don't want to know the ending, I'm not going to go through a total deep dive. I'll just kind of give my surface level opinions, and then maybe Tuesday, if Matthew has a chance to watch it, then we'll go through it then. Let's see. Look, I'm not. So at Matthew, just so you know, I am not going to. I'm just going to give a surface level. Just surface level. But have you had a chance to watch Mission Impossible? I text you. If you've had a chance to watch Mission Impossible, Matthew, then we definitely are going to talk about it on Tuesday. I was just going to give a kind of 30,000 feet above the planet view down. But definitely want to go over it on Tuesday for sure. So if you're going to get a chance to watch it, or if you have already. But yeah, we've talked Andor, so I'm going to bring this story up. Andor's showrunner shares his controversial take on a Rogue One romance. It's not canon. Now, Tony Gilroy brought this up because in Rogue One, at the end of the movie, you see where Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso kiss or hug while they're getting blown up. And fans have speculated they were in love with each other, that it was a great, love story, even though really nothing really points to that in the film. So, a lot of people have taken that and run with it. And we're like, oh, Cassian and Jyn Erso, they're together. There's been fan fiction written, maybe comics, don't know for sure. But Tony Gilroy came out recently after Andor, and he said, look, anybody could be in that position. If you haven't seen your girlfriend or your wife for a year, you're facing the end of the world as you know it, or the end of your life, it would be understood if you embraced someone else, or if you made out with someone else, or whatever, if you knew this was it. And that's kind of the situation you have at the end of Rogue One, right, for the most part. But the biggest problem I think that I actually really have with this, and let's see if I can find it really quickly, is that Gilroy kind of feels like he doesn't have to respect canon. Okay? So for instance, let's see. Here he says, this is why Gilroy put so much work into Cassian and Bix's romance in Andor Season 2, which seems to diminish the possibility of any relationship between Cassian and Jyn. Gilroy does acknowledge they could have feelings for each other, especially when they're about to die, but otherwise, quote unquote, it's not canon, even though it's in the movies. Bold-faced type, he is at least aware that many fans like the idea of Jyn and Cassian, even if Rogue One never fully explored the possibility. So, he also made similar comments in Andor, about Andor as well. To the fact that someone wrote a backstory for K2SO, the droid that he adopts and is his friend. Okay? Someone wrote a comic that fits within the timeline. It's under the Lucasfilm banner. But when it came time to make Andor, he disregarded that and chose to not include that and write his own backstory. Now, he had comments recently that said, they didn't ask me, they didn't check with me, so the story I wrote is the story that I wrote, and that Cassian meets this droid, in Andor Season 2. I guess my big thing is that, even when you had Legends, even when you had the EU back in the day, George was very adamant about what he signed off on and what was canon and what was not canon. And he even though he didn't write it all, even though he didn't keep up with it all, he had someone keeping up with all that extra content that people were writing and novels and everything. Timothy Zahn, all this other shit. And George would give the okay or the go ahead, right? And there were a lot of things timelines that people had to dance around. They had to work around. And they did that for the sake of the sacred timeline, so to speak. Okay? For the characters. Not to step on anybody else's toes. So, while I like what Gilroy did with Andor, and I don't mind it, I don't like his flippant comments about canon and what doesn't matter just because he's going to do what he's going to do. I think that's very, very bad for maintaining some type of continuity. And Disney has been awful with this in the first place. And they've cherry-picked what they want to use out of the Legends. But for Gilroy, who crafted such a great narrative, to disregard something that was regarded as canon within the comics, right? Now is just open season for everybody to do whatever they want. And they could just say, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I don't care. This is my backstory. I don't care what was shown before in a TV show. I don't care what was shown in a movie. This is my backstory. So that's where things get complicated, to where we need something to pull all these stories together and wrap them up with a fucking band and say, okay, no, this is the official story. This isn't a what if, right? Ronnie Trickshot's late to the party, but I don't care. It's my party and I can cry if I want to, Ronnie. What's going on, baby? Good to see you, my friend. Let's see here as I can scroll down the chat one time. 3-Star Draw says, why won't you come out the closet, Tom Cruise? You know what? Even if he did, at this point, nobody would care, right? Nobody would care. And also Dreadnought K6, who says, I heard at the last board meeting regarding Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy challenged everyone else to a dick measuring contest. Word is she dominated. No, she came in second place. Read the facts before you make statements like that. She came in second place. 3-star says, I'm up to season 2, episode 5 of Andor. It's a great sleep aid, but it's good. Well, I can't wait till you get to the arc of, what is it? 789. 789. 789. And Triple D's Dungeon says, I quit watching episode 11 to watch this stream. Episode 11 of Andor. Let's see here. You're so mean, Dreadnought. You're so mean. You're so mean, Matthew. You're so mean. And then, yes, you guys chat while I do my tangential thing. I like that word, tangential. I will do my tangential thing. I don't know. Am I still talking? I don't know. You guys let me know. Let's see. Anyway. All right. So, my main issue with that is canon. I just think if we have no basis for canon, if we just decide that canon is no big deal and that who gives a shit, then anything goes, then you have nothing to regulate what makes sense, and then anybody and anyone and everybody can do whatever they want. And I think that's a terrible thing. I remember the Extended Universe books. I remember the Han Solo books and the Chewbacca books and the Luke Skywalker books and all the different paperbacks you could get. I remember all that shit. It got signed off on, right? It got signed off on by George. Or someone George appointed to kind of be the keeper of the flame. Do you think George wanted to sit down and read 379 novels? But he had someone he could trust to do that. So there was at least a lore master. There's a lore master now, but he's a piece of shit. His name's Pablo Hidalgo. That guy's a piece of work. For reals. Speaking of Andor. Speaking of Star Wars. Speaking of Star Wars. I got a couple things I want to bring up to you. You guys love Pedro Pascal, right? You guys love him. You know you do. Pedro has been in the news recently, but not for his acting. Or maybe it is for his acting. I don't know. He could be acting in real life. I'm not sure. But Pedro's been in the news because he gets cast for everything. And the reason he gets cast for everything is because he checks off a lot of boxes. He's very white adjacent, a la the role as Joel in The Last of Us. He also checks off some other boxes that we really had suspicions about, but didn't really know, wasn't quite for sure. But I've got a video here that kind of helps confirm suspicions. Because I don't know another man. I don't know. Yeah, he's totally acting all right, Matthew, right? Acting the fool. So you guys tell me, just based off of these dance moves, and I'll show you a couple other pictures here in a second. You guys tell me, based off of these dance moves, what do you think about old Pedro the Mandalorian? Hang on, it gets better. Here we go. Oh, it's time to dance. Dance. Looks like Pedro's got that down pat. I mean, these moves, licking the lightsaber, and then I think he's watched some parades in his life. I think he's been to some shows. What's funny is look at these little computer speakers, these little house speakers up here. Like, what is this? It's the back of a fucking U-Haul truck. It's in the back of a... What is this? Like, seriously, what is this? Oh, it's definitely for pride, that's for sure. We're not quite there yet, though. But look at those moves. I mean, those are not novice moves. Those moves are of a veteran kind, Todd. Those are veteran moves. But I thought it'd be fun to look at, some of these cute pictures of Pedro, such as this one from 2023. Lovely outfit, as we both can see. The luscious red coat with the skinny tie from the 80s. We have our black patent leather combat boots with our tall black dress socks and our black duck head shorts. But we also have this lovely get up here, as you guys can see. Not exactly sure where to go with this. Not exactly sure where to go with this. It's up there with Sigourney Weaver, by the way, which is even better, right? You know what? You may be right. Give me a red trench coat and some of these boots right here. I'll be your worst nightmare, baby. Oh, no. Yeah, veteran moves for sure, Turk, if you know what I mean. Veteran moves for sure. And if you don't think for 1 minute, Ronnie, that there won't be rainbow-colored lightsabers at some point in time, you got another thing coming. Because it is going to be tied to someone's identity, and at the very least, it's going to be in a book or a comic. It'll be tied to their identity, and when they get mad enough or whatever as a Jedi, it's like their lightsaber is gonna, yeah, Pedro, Blue Oyster Cult, or Blue Oyster Bar, you may be correct. Yeah, Wonder Woman 1984, horrible movie, G.I. Jet, man, that's for sure. And yes, he's our Reed Richards. Now, it's curious, G.I., that you said that. It's no, Dreadnought, that's actually pretty funny. That's pretty good. So, Turk, you do what you got to do, baby, by all means. Woody Triple Deuce says fireman boots, cut off slacks, and a pirate shirt. Now, that's an outfit. Yes, it is. And yes, Candy Blade. I've seen that. I know all about the Neo pixels. All about the Neos, baby. I have a lightsaber over here behind me, and it's not a Neo. But I would love to get one, but they're expensive as crapola. Now, Triple D says it's not really a stretch to see him as Reed Richards, but do you guys know who had their eye on the Reed Richards role? Do you know who had their eye on the Reed Richards role? I'm going to give you a guess. You're never going to get it. He actually played one of the Doctor Who, or a Doctor Who. This actor played Doctor Who. He wanted the role of Reed Richards pretty badly, and I'll let you guys decide whether or not you think that would have been fine. Make sure, by the way, you guys, throw a like on the video if you can, for sure. I always forget to say it until the very end. It definitely helps. I've noticed in the last month or so, the streams have gotten a little more traction. Not a lot, and I know they're not just going to blow up into the stratosphere, but they have gotten a few more views, and I don't know that's through you guys' help or through our work or whatever, but yeah, definitely throw a like on the video if you can. I appreciate it. So check this out. David Tennant said he wanted Pedro Pascal's role in the Fantastic Four. Right here, and it starts off basically, it says, in terms of superheroes, I did slightly have my eye on Reed Richards, and unfortunately it looks like they've gone in a different direction, the Doctor Who star said. Although, if it has to be someone, I'm very happy for it to be Pedro, frankly, because he had to say that. Because if he didn't say that, he would have been chastised and blackballed out of Hollywood if he didn't support Pedro right now in this time of need in Pedro's life. I find it interesting, though, that David Tennant, do you guys think David Tennant would have been a good Reed Richards? Because I would have liked to have seen that. I would have liked it, at the very least, I would have liked to have seen testings where they bring actors in, do tests, screen tests. I would have liked to have seen that. It says that later during the MCM Comic Con chat, the moderator also asked Tennant if he had seen the viral Vanity Fair lie detector test video where Pascal calls himself the bigger daddy compared to Oscar Isaac. The video we just watched. After saying that he had yet to see it, the host said, okay, I had to make sure I read this right. After saying that he had yet to see it, the host then said, I was going to ask you, who's the bigger daddy, you or Pedro Pascal? Tennant says, what's the criteria? I mean, it will definitely be him. He's Mr. Fantastic. So in every sense of the word, I think Pedro is great. I'm very, very pleased that he exists. That last sentence, I'm very, very pleased that he exists. Bullshit. Bullshit. Sorry, I had to get that out. Do you guys think David Tennant would have been a decent Reed Richards? Triple D says I can think of five other people to play Reed Richards better. List them. Cumberbatch, yeah. I mean, he says Christian Bale. I mean, throw him down for me. You know what I mean? Let's see here. David Tennant could have pulled it off before he went full nutso. Yeah. I mean, he still could pull it off if they were able to keep out any of the, bullshit. But I thought he'd be pretty good. I mean, and I think it would have been pretty good to have him as Reed Richards. I mean, look, Nathan Fillion was somebody wanted. Obviously, you have what's his name from The Office, the one who played it in Multiverse of Madness. Why am I forgetting his name? It should be at the top of my head. But I'm talking about John Krasinski. And then, I think everybody would have been A-okay with that. I think Pedro was an out of left field out of left field choice. I think it took a lot of people by surprise. I also think it's a safe choice for Disney because they feel like, how can anybody criticize this guy? They know a lot more about him than we do, which when that information comes out, which I assume it will come out very soon based off of Pedro Pascal's actions recently, then they have a shield, right? They've got a human shield they can use. On top of the Mando movie, right? On top of whatever. They have a human shield they can use. I don't think they won't use it that way. But I thought it was interesting even that David Tennant would even be like in that zeitgeist, right? Like would even be thinking about that personally. You know, that's just me. Like that he would even care about that in that zeitgeist of being in Star Wars, considering he is closely associated obviously with Doctor Who, amongst, you know, many other projects. But I like David Tennant. So I saw another story that I wanted to bring up to y'all, and there's really no other reason why I wanted to bring it up other than to say, if I can get it to come up here. There we go. Let's go. Come on, baby. You can do it. Chug a lug. Miley Cyrus got a brutal infection after filming on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. My leg began to disintegrate. That's sounds extremely serious. The reason I brought this story up is because who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this chick? Who is that? Who is that? Miley Cyrus? Who is this chick? What is this? I don't even recognize. Is this the same girl that rode on a wrecking ball? What the hell happened to this person? Oh my God. Okay. If she said I got a brutal infection on my face, I got a brutal infection on my face and it messed up my cheeks and my eye cavities, my eye sockets. And it made me look like, I don't know, Morgan Fairchild? I don't even know. What happened? I don't even recognize this girl anymore. Lord. Evidently, it says, I filmed this video in October, and by November on Thanksgiving, I was put in the ICU for a moment. My leg began to disintegrate around the kneecap area. Disintegrate. Do you have any idea why you would have such a brutal infection on your kneecap? The doctor asked her. Let's see. It says that the image of her dancing on the ground in Hollywood popped into her head. I had to tell him to have a surgeon look at you and say, yuck. Regarding the state of her knee, they open up cadavers, they see inside the guts of humans, and they're looking at me, telling me I'm disgusting, and they do brain operations. I don't think that's what the doctor said. I don't think the doctor said that you are disgusting as we welcome Tony Figs in the house. Tony Figs isn't disgusting. That's for sure. Yeah, botched surgery, I would assume, on her face. But this article is not about her face, Joe Fan. This article is about her knee. But you're right. There's a botched surgery on her face. Maybe they did knee surgery on her face. Um, it says that, let's see here. What the fuck? The Wrecking Ball singer also admitted she had a big dream and actually a pretty good budget for a film, but spent it all on my clothes. So when she did the Walk of Fame, she said, "We'll just go in the middle of the night. I thought it was my last day." She felt bad because she wanted the video to be fabulous and now just told everybody such a filthy story. Now what you've told everyone is that you sacrificed for this. You nearly gave your life for this. Oh, shut the fuck up, Jimmy Kimmel, you piece of shit. I still don't understand what happened. So evidently she got an infection, I guess. We really don't know. I guess she rolled around on Hollywood at night. Did she get a HIV needle in her knee? I don't understand. But this picture says it all, folks. This picture is brutal. Absolutely brutal. Stanley could be a cartilage transplant. I really don't know. And it doesn't really give us much more to this story. And really, truthfully, I'm not going to lie to you guys. The reason I brought it up in the first place is just for the simple fact that I didn't even recognize Miley Cyrus when I pulled this picture up. This does not look like Miley Cyrus. This I don't know who this is. This shit is weird. Seriously weird. Miley, come back to us. Miley, come back to us, please. Lord. Or I could show you guys this one more time. You want to see it? You know you do. There you go. Let me give you guys something to gawk at. You know you love it. You want some more of it. Tony's Figs. I just found your new outfit, Tony. I just found your new outfit right here on the screen. Let's see here. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Let's take a look and see. I thought this would be a fun little thing. All right. Let's see who drives what in Hollywood. Let's find out who drives what in Hollywood. This is from Hollywood Reporter. As Dreadnought says, I've only watched a third of the Marvel movies, never seen Wonder Woman or Captain America's, Wonder Woman being DC. Really a lot of them. I watched the Avengers, stopped watching standalone Spider-Man after the Andrew Garfield. So you missed a lot. You missed a lot. Ronnie Trickshot, you know exactly what she was doing on her knees in Hollywood. Come on now. Let's not play. Let's not play. I know you are, Tony. Very fashion forward, aren't you? Very fashion forward. Yeah, don't tell my achy breaky knee. I saw him in concert years ago. He was actually really, really freaking good. He was really good. Ronnie Trickshot, I don't know whether to be scared of this comment or to congratulate you. Never mind. Okay. Power steering. Who drives what in Hollywood? Let's find out. Sports cars. Michael B. Jordan. Ferrari SF. What is this? The Ferrari 296 GTB. Michael B. Jordan. That's a hell of a car right there. That looks like some GTA 5 shit right there. Let's see. The Ferrari SF90 right here. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. That beautiful, beautiful car right there. Katy Perry. If she's not going into space, feels like she's floating on the road. The Maserati Grand Cabrio. Christ almighty. Here's our boy Pedro Pascal in a Mercedes SL 550. Beautiful, beautiful Mercedes. Cardi B, of course, a very talented stripper and part-time rapper, drives a Lamborghini Aventador S Roadster. It's one of War Chest's favorite vehicles right here. The S Roadster. And also, Rihanna drives the Lamborghini Aventador SV. Because Rihanna ain't got time for them roadster bitches. The Ferrari 250 GTO. George Lucas. Imagine driving that red car around thinking, I created Star Wars, bitches. Now go fuck yourself. Oh, Lord. I got you, buddy. No worries. You're good. Sorry. It's a one-man band around these parts. You know what I mean? Porsche 911 GT3. Selena Gomez. Your favorite and one of mine too. Porsche 911 Keanu Reeves. Had it customized after his 911 was stolen. Okay, we're getting into the ultra luxury cars, folks. Who doesn't know? Okay, who doesn't know Diane von Furstenberg? We all know Diane. Let's not kid ourselves. We go way back with Diane. Old von Furstenberg. You know, one of the best ever. She drives a Bentley. I mean, pure class. Rolls-Royce Phantom. Your favorite, my favorite, Drake. Jamming out to some Kendrick Lamar on a $11,400 factory stereo. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Oh, my God. You guys are about to laugh. You guys are about to laugh. This is a treat. This is a treat coming up. This is a treat. Stealth Wealth. Geo Metro. Tyler Perry. Oh, my God. You want to talk about them? Okay, the media trying to change human language to make us accept words and shit that aren't really words we think about. It says Tyler Perry owned a Geo Metro when he was housing insecure. Bought this to keep himself humble. He owned a Geo Metro when he was housing insecure. What kind of phrase is housing insecure? It sounds as dumb as it reads. Hey, no, exactly. Subaru Outback, Nicole Kidman. I love it. I'd ride that Outback any day with her. I'd go to the Outback with her. Wait a minute. You get it? You get it? You get it? Ding, 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 ding. 2003 Toyota Corolla. Bad Bunny. Whoever the fuck Bad Bunny is. He traded in his Bugatti. Well, he's a good guy. That's a good guy. Traded in his Bugatti for this Corolla. Swell, fella. How about some SUVs? Jenna Ortega or Wednesday herself driving around in a Audi Q3. Who doesn't want an Audi Q3? Or how about Justin Bieber in his Land Rover? Look at that. If we just took that little circle and moved it right into that right in front of the steering wheel, we'd have a perfect picture of Justin Bieber. An Audi R5 Q8. Austin Butler. I liked Austin Butler, but he's become a fruitcake. David Zaslav. Well, who gives a shit? Hugh Jackman. Range Rover Sport. I could see that. Driving through the bush, right? Driving through the bush. Exactly, Ronnie. I could see Hugh Jackman driving through the bush. Kim Kardashian with her Lamborghini Urus, which is not the kind of Lamborghini you'd want to own. A Porsche Cayenne for Ted Sarandos. Gotta love some Ted Sarandos. Rolls Royce for Trevor Noah, the very unfunny comedian. Drives a Rolls Royce. Are you kidding me? Timothy Chalamet, a fine actor, drives a BMW XM. Kelly Clarkson cruising around in a pickup truck. All right, I like it. I like it a lot. Jamie Lee Curtis kicking ass in a Cadillac Lyric. Sounds like a hybrid motherfucker. Ben Affleck in his Rivian RTS. Going vintage. How about Snoop Dogg in that 66 Caddy? What's up? Better come on with it. You are correct, Ronnie Trickshot. That is for sure. Let's see. Surprise Bieber's still alive. I agree. Bad Bunny, I do, but not. He's not on my radar, Matt. Bugs Bunny did dress up quite a bit. Triple D's, you are correct. Clint Jorgensen's in the house. Aston Martins are nice. They are, but no one on this list was driving one. Not a single person was driving one. Except for Steven Spielberg right here. His first one. Let's see what else we got. 1969 Ford Bronco driven by Sidney Sweeney, Ronnie Trickshot. There you go. Ronnie Trickshot and Sidney Sweeney riding on the beach in this classic SUV. I can see it now. A match made in heaven, ladies and gentlemen. Dax Shepard drives a 67 Continental. Holy crap. A 72 Mercedes for your boy RuPaul. I mean, your girl RuPaul. RuPaul. We have a 66 Ford Mustang for Tom Rothman. Beautiful car. Lady Gaga is in the Chevy, Ford, and Rolls category, but she likes a 65 Lincoln Continental. And then we have our, shall we say, climate conservative folks like Christian Bale driving our eco-friendly Rivian RIT. We have Ari Emanuel driving his ugly fucking Tesla Cybertruck. Things are fucking ugly as shit. Saw one on the road today. They're more common now, especially here in Nashville, because we've attracted all of the whatever. Anyway, let's see. That's a pretty good list. Pretty good list of the stars and the cars they drive. Not the stars and bars, but the stars and cars they drive. Hopefully nobody misunderstood me. Man, all right. Some of these stories I definitely have to save for when Matthew is with me on Tuesday night. That is for sure. But I'll sift through a couple more to bring to you guys before we bounce up out of here. Yeah, 3-star likes the Cybertruck, but I don't know why. Nor have I really asked for that matter. Look, Ronnie, going off-road and enjoying the jiggling, yes. You have my blessing, friend. You have my blessing. So, I talked about the Thunderbolts a while back. Matthew and I talked about the Thunderbolts. And we talked about, I think we showed you guys how much it talks about mental health. It says how much this movie does for mental health. Well, nobody gives a shit. Right? Like, it's... But I found an article. That brings just that very subject up. Not just a blanket statement, not just it's for mental health. But this says right here, what Thunderbolts gets right about mental health. 4 lessons for advocates. Now, I wanted to go through some of the bullet points for this, because some of them I found to be extremely, not convoluted, they're contrived, okay? It says, too often those working in scientific fields equate expertise with effectiveness, but knowing the facts is not the same as helping the public understand them. Being right is important, but it's not enough. The Thunderbolts offers a different approach by portraying characters who openly grapple with their mental health challenges. The film invites audiences to empathize and reflect. So, for those of you that saw the Thunderbolts, did you empathize? Did you reflect? Did you think deeply about each character? And did you reflect on their journey individually or as a group? Did you reflect on their mental health challenges that they had to defeat the big baddie and win the day? This message is so fake. Now, the message of mental health, do with it what you will. Looking forward to a Marvel movie to help further the conversation of mental health. Get out of here. All right. This is the essence of narrative transportation. Individuals become immersed in a story, leading to increased empathy and reduced resistance to new ideas. Okay. A study published in Frontiers in Communication found that narratives are persuasive because they're easier to understand and can significantly impact an individual's attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. Now, this is my favorite line from this whole article. Learning from Hollywood, integrating public health into storylines. Now, before I say what I really want to say, I'll read this. Public health has often lagged healthcare in leveraging storytelling. ER and Grey's Anatomy successfully incorporated health issues into their narratives. ER, on the air from 1994 to 2009, was a cultural touchstone for health literacy. It addressed topics like HIV/AIDS awareness and prevention, mental health, domestic violence, substance use and addiction, and health disparities. A 2019 episode of Grey's Anatomy addressed sexual assault, heightened public awareness, and led to significant increase in calls to the hotline for grape, abuse, and incest national network. The only lessons from Hollywood you need to learn is don't do what they do or what they've done. I can understand getting inspired by a story. I can understand feeling 10 feet tall and bulletproof after watching a movie like Tombstone or Young Guns or whatever. Okay. But learning from Hollywood, integrating public health into storylines, come on. Like, seriously, come on. I'm not putting it beyond directors and showrunners to want to have the purest of motives and ideals for whatever their project is. Unfortunately, the companies that make their projects have a different agenda. And that's just the truth of it. And just like a show like ER or Grey's Anatomy or Thunderbolts has a certain agenda that it wants you to know about, and they will try to teach you that agenda, whether that is integrated and you don't realize it's happening at the time, or they beat you over a head with a baseball bat with it, which is what we've seen the last several years. Reframing health communication. Thunderbolts is more than entertainment. It's a blueprint for how we can improve communication and outreach about mental health. Is it really? Like, is that what Thunderbolts is about? Is improving communication about mental health? I just don't see people going to see the movie and walking away from it. I see them going to the movie and walking away from it and going, what did I just fucking spend my money on? I don't see them going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call up Uncle Joe and I'm going to talk about the abuse that I endured when I was 7. Or I'm going to call up my sister because we lived in an abusive household and I want to see how she's doing and talk to her for the first time about what we had to go through as kids. I'm going to call up my mom who was beat by my dad and I want to talk to her and I want to bring this up because she needs to talk about it. It's important to me that she talk about it. Right? Like who's doing that? Who's doing that? And if you are, stop it. Just stop it right now. Stop it. U.S. Agent was a badass. I give you that 100%, my friend. And victimhood mentality, definitely. Now, I think people can take away things from movies. Yeah, Jetman says mental health is no joke. Hey, listen. Actually, you know what? No. Look, is it no joke? Sure. If within context. That I will say. We've all had problems. We've all been through the ringer. We've all had issues, and we've all dealt with them in different ways. We all look at them differently. We all handle them differently. We all have either had help or friends, or we have had those things not bother us, or they have bothered us. We've had family members who've come to the rescue or not come to the rescue. There's a million different ways. Okay? But for a movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to put out there how much credit that they want to take about mental health and the fact that that's what this movie is about. No, it's not about that. It's not. It is. They can say it all they want, but that is the studio trying to give more importance to the movie than it has. Trying to give more clout to this movie than it has, and trying to spark up a conversation about this movie when ultimately at the end of the day, this movie is not. Now, are there themes? Sure. But any of those themes in there is nothing that none of us have not gone through or thought about. And in Thunderbolts, I wouldn't even say it's heavy-handed, but it's not done believably. Like, it's just not. It's not done believably. Had it been a better film, then maybe it'd have a bigger impact. But as you see, even audiences, people who have gone to see it, it's not making that impact. But yet, we still see article after article come out claiming this movie is the Godfather 2 of movies about mental health within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, every article, right? Yeah, I think a lot of people have, Joe Fan. You know, anxiety, depression since you were 12. You know, a lot of people, I think, you know, battle with all kinds of stuff. I think now that it's different. It's different because there's different problems, right? Internet, if you know, you've got a multitude of social pressures and things of that nature. But I also think that how we're able to, you know, to handle those things, we all have our ways of handling that and doing that, right? And so, you know, like G.I. Jetman says, you know, it's collecting and watching TV is the only thing that helps me, which is, and that's great, right? You know, anything you can do to take your mind off of things, settle you down, calm you down, whatever, that's great. Right? Because at the end of the day, ultimately what it is allowing it, look, whatever you need to function, to be able to function normally, right? To be able to work, earn money, be around people, and keep you from doing something that would harm yourself or others. All about it. Right? All about it. Woody Triple Deuce. If any movie's about mental health, that would be Joker Part 1. Yeah, if that was a wrapped up in a villain movie from a franchise and IP that we all know very well, that we expected something a lot different from, right? Because of the classic Batman story that we've gotten. But that story was rolled up in a whole different ballgame, right? And the performance was very good, very entertaining, very convincing, right? Obviously, had a great actor doing it, so it definitely helps. But I could definitely feel that you're right, Woody. That movie, more so than Thunderbolts, would be a better depiction of mental health issues than the Thunderbolts, for sure. But let's not kid ourselves if we don't think Disney wanted to find a theme to latch onto to push this movie. And take it for what it is. It may sound harsh, but you have a mega corporation specifically using mental health as a gateway to get people to come and see a movie to make more money. And there's no way I'll believe that they did it to be genuine because they wanted people to see this movie and feel better about themselves or have a better understanding or whatever. They did it because they have to drive ticket sales, and they have to drive people, as many people as they can, to pay full price and as many times as they can, and to buy popcorn at the theater and buy a Coke. That's their job. So, and the thing is, you may say, well, the Disney didn't write the articles. Of course they did. Every article had the same phrases. Every article had the same buzzwords. It was word for word. You see it every week. You see it with every blockbuster. It's the same phrases from every media company. You could just do a control search for it and find it. We did one just a few weeks ago, about the Thunderbolts. And you can look it up. And every article, every review, every Twitter post, every Instagram post, you can do a keyword search, and that's all you had to do. And you see how disingenuous it is. Now, some people may disagree. They say, hey, well, it's not disingenuous if it draws people, to it to think about it. They're only thinking about it during the 2.5 hour movie. They're not thinking about it after the fact. They're not coming to the movie theater to get educated on mental health. Like, it's just not happening. They're coming to the movie theater because they want to see some shit blow up. They want to see people kick ass. Or they want to hear some jokes. Or they want a touching story. But they're not, people aren't going to the movies, especially for the Marvel shit, to be talked to about mental health. Or, I mean, it's just not the case. Now, if people would listen to an album and take away from that album what they want. It could be different for every person, right? Throw on a Police album, or throw on a Beatles album, or throw on a Queen album, and each song may speak differently to each person. It may mean something differently to you. But a movie is a little bit different because visually and audibly you hear the story, you get the story. Because they're trying to convey a story to you. It's hard you can't make too much of it a mystery, because then nobody's going to want to see it because it doesn't make any sense. With music, with albums, with songs, you can be abstract. As long as you got a good groove, you can be abstract with your lyrics. It doesn't have to make sense. But with movies, television, it has to make sense. There's a structure. So to think that Disney didn't give out a press release to all these media people, and they had 2 words in it that they wanted to make sure they included in their review, and it was mental health. That's not sympathetic. That's not being authentic. That is marketing 101. Marketing 101. Frank Duman, you was in the house, man. Frank, I love the picture too, man. Love the picture. Nice and bright. Yeah, easy to buy into victimhood mentality when things aren't going great. I agree, Dreadnought. And in a way it is celebrated. Now, I'm not saying by any means that people don't have issues and don't have problems. And I don't want somebody to think that I'm just flippant and I'm just go fuck yourself. That's not the case. I would tell you that if I thought that. But I do feel that it is much easier for people to not believe in themselves now than it is to believe in yourself. Right? But I'm not even saying that necessarily has anything to do with what we're talking about. Joe Fan 84 says, I'm autistic too. That's when my grandfather passed away. My sister moved out. My parents almost got divorced, and it was just too much at once. That's a lot. That's a lot for anybody, especially somebody if you're young, if you're a kid. That's definitely a lot. 100%. Sometimes it takes a little while to recover from that. Some people let it roll off their back, and it's no big deal. Some people find a hobby, or they're, like this, they're into collecting, or, paying attention to something else. Or if you're like me, and a lot of you guys are probably like me, I have something on 24/7. I have on videos 24/7. It is my magic elixir to take my mind off of running wild with anything that might go crazy thinking about. So I have to have something on 24/7. I usually have YouTube on all the time. It might be a sports talk show, Dan Patrick show in the morning, something like that. But otherwise, I am nonstop, around the clock, listening or watching to YouTube videos. And that helps me basically to quiet my mind, to keep my head intact, so to speak. So I don't wander too far off the reservation, if that makes sense. G.I. Jetman says, I used to Madden all the time, and I lost interest in video games. Madden, I could definitely understand losing interest in that for sure, my friend. But there's a lot of games I really love. Single player games, single player RPGs that you could just get lost in. Just get lost in the world, man. Like that. I love that stuff. Love it, love it. See, Joe Fan says that's why I got into G.I. Joe and collecting. It's my escape. And I love my collection. And found awesome dudes to hang out with, especially here. That's what I want, Joe Fan, more than anything. You guys come here, and if you disagree with me or you hate me, I say you hate me, but what I do want you to find is other people who you can debate and cut up with, and you see their Instagram and you like their photos, and vice versa, or you tune into their streams, or vice versa. Like a conduit in a way. I love every one of y'all showing up and hanging out with me, every week, and with Matthew and myself alone. But I love it when people, meet other people that they would never otherwise meet, or they meet other people and that grows into sharing stuff. Hey, I picked up this figure, man. I know you like it. I'll send it to you. Vice versa, that kind of stuff. It happens all the time, and I love to hear it. You talking about me, G.I.? I have not opened really many of my figures. There's a reason I don't have anywhere to put them, to be quite honest with you. I love the boxes too, though, I'm not gonna lie. That's it. I just don't have anywhere to put them. If you look, Once a Man, Retro. I love the Super 7 Ultimates. I've told you guys before. I know they're shit figures. I love the Super 7 Ultimates. I'm a fan. I will eventually one day have all of them because I really do like all of them. I'd leave them in the box. That's fine with me. But I love the cartoon aesthetic. But, I don't have anywhere to put them. You see the Master Disguise Zartan. You see Snake Supreme. I am going to get that Megatron out. The Blockies Megatron. I'm going to get him out and build him and do like a time-lapse video of him. I love that thing. I just love that look. Mezco. Got Mezco, Firefly, Destro, and what's his name back there? Old Ding Dong. I'm gonna say Chucky. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Let's see here. Woody Triple Deuce. I go into my toy room and just stare at shit hours, clear my mind. That's cool. And you got a lot of stuff too to stare at. And I love it. I think it's awesome. Parents are a great support system. Dad turning 76. My mom is 76, and my dad will be 78 in November. 78, 79. I mean, it's, nothing you can do about it. And I get it, G. I'm just messing with you, man. I am. I'm just messing. I assume you don't hate me, that's for sure. I'm a super self-deprecating humor person. So yeah, that's just how I roll. But no worries, my friend, no worries. Yeah, I bet you did get into G.I. Joe collecting for all the single women war chest. I bet you did. Yeah, and that's tough. 3 years, definitely. Just from a family perspective, man, that's a lot of people. I hate to hear that. I really do. As we all get older, I think your family becomes more and more important than the time we spent trying to get away and go out and do stuff and all that. You know what I mean? Like, and then you start realizing as you get older that, you know, you want to be around your folks. You know, you want to be around your family. Yeah, but Joe's a very little shelf space. I have a box problem too. Yeah, no. My boxes are going nowhere, my friend. That's for sure. Nowhere. 100%. All right. So, let's see. I'll call out real quick. Matthew Matson, are you still there? Let's find out if Matthew's still in the chat, shall we? Wouldn't surprise me if he's already gone, which I don't blame him. How much he is up early and often. Yeah, a box problem most of them are. Okay, Matthew, here's the deal. And I'm going to tell the fine people here because I'm at 2 hours and 10 minutes. I know my thumbnail had a pretty cool picture on that, by the way. Do you guys want to hear me and Matthew? Now, Matthew, have you gotten a chance to watch MI8? Because that's gonna make the decision here. Dreadnought K6 says if a chick collects action figures but is an in the box collector, does that mean she stores them in her fat? Quite interesting. All right, so you're watching it tomorrow. Joe Fan says no. All right. So here's what's up. I can save my MI8 review for Tuesday night with Matthew and really get into it. Like get into it. If you guys are gonna be seeing it, or if you have seen it already, or you will see it by Tuesday. I know that's kind of a short notice, but if I decide to hold off from tonight and we get into it Tuesday night, we're going to get into it. Now we may not spoil everything, but I be honest with you, y'all, like, there's nothing to spoil, man. There is nothing to spoil in this movie. And G.I. Jet, man, I'm with you right here. I love Haley Atwell as well. Woody says I'm going to see it tomorrow. Warchest says I'm watching it tomorrow. And let me give you guys a little secret here. All right, you didn't hear it from me. All right, hang on. Watch this. You didn't hear it from me, folks. Okay. There's a little thing. I like to watch series. And when I watch series, I search for the shows I like. Okay. So when I go and watch series, I find Mission Impossible, Last Final Reckoning on there, whatever. When I watch a series, I find Thunderbolts. When I watch series, I find Lilo and Stitch. Okay? I like to watch series. So if you can't make it to the movie theater, watch series. If you need help with that, Instagram me and I'll spell it out for you, okay? And by the way, if you do go on there, don't give up. And what I mean by don't give up is just keep pop-up busting. Because it will stop. Once you start watching, it will stop. But if you need help with that, please Instagram me. If you're not going to the theater, good. I just want to make sure. All right. So look, all right, I'll save it. I'll save it for Tuesday night with Matthew so I can get into it with him because I'm curious to hear his opinion. I'm curious to hear y'all's opinion about it. I want to know what you think about this final Mission Impossible movie, if in fact it is the final Mission Impossible movie. I don't think it is. I really don't believe that it is. I think that there's going to be some more. I think Tom Cruise is open to doing some more. And so you know, take it with a grain of salt. It's like a band that says this is their final tour. We're going on the final tour. And then 4 years later, it's like, they're back. Motley Crue, Billy Joel, Elton John, Guns N' Roses, whoever. They're all the same. But look, we'll wait. We'll wait until Tuesday. I do have a Ryan Reynolds story that I want to go over on Tuesday night. I do have the ratings, the TV ratings for 24 and 25, the 2024-2025 season, and Charlie Cox's comments about the Karen Page character. Triple D says Mission Impossible is like 007. You don't have to have the same lead actor to continue the brand. I agree. I agree. But I think Tom Cruise wants to be that lead actor. Or he just does. Joe Fan says I'll be working all week. But that doesn't mean you have to go to the theater. Dreadnought, yes, I have bloodshot eyes. The reason why is because I have chronic red eye syndrome, otherwise known as you look a high all the time. But I'm not. They even gave me a mask to wear when I go to sleep or when I get up from sleeping for like 10 minutes. You microwave it and everything. And you put it on and it's supposed to like warm up your blood vessels and shit. Of course, you know I don't do that. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Anyway, so look, we're gonna save it. We're gonna save it for Tuesday night, and I'm gonna get out of here tonight because you guys have been freaking awesome. And you need your time. Let's see. How long you been up though? Well, let's see. Considering I don't sleep, Stanley, I got about 3 hours of sleep, and then I got up, and then I fell back asleep for about an hour, and then I got up. And I've pretty much been up ever since. So, yeah. Folks, I'm at this stage where I don't sleep anymore. Like, none. It's a shame. It sucks. As you can tell, too, unfortunately, it also doesn't help because it dries me out. which I start getting stopped up at the end of the night because I haven't had enough rest. I don't drink enough water. We could go into the whole boo-hoo, right? We could do the whole boo-hoo, but we're not going to do that. We're going to save it for Tuesday. I do really appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. Didn't have a ton of stories. Speaking of which, red eyes, I got to take these contacts out. But I figured I had a few things to bring to the table anyway. So even if I don't have a lot, I'll try to find something interesting. I know by Tuesday night with Matthew, there'll probably be a few more stories that slip in for sure. And so we'll probably have a few more little things to bring to you. Like The Last of Us season 2 ending and how those ratings dropped off. We'll bring the current box office with Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible duking it out. That should be interesting. I've got some news about the armorer from the movie Rust, who was sent to prison. Got a little news about that. And then also, too, I figured we'd go through the stunts, the 13 jaw-dropping stunts that Tom Cruise has done during the Mission Impossible movies. So maybe we can tie that in on Tuesday night with Matthew, and we can look at those stunts and go over them and maybe rank them, especially for those that are huge Mission Impossible fans. That's for sure. Survivor, no, just the first season with Richard Hatch, I think. First season of Survivor, won the money and then went broke. I think that's it. But yeah, man. Anyway, look, I'm going to get out of here. That way I can take these contacts out. I can give you guys back your night. But I will see you on Tuesday night. Going to have a new... well, I'll just save it. Going to have a new... going to save it. But I'll be back with Matthew Tuesday night. And then Wednesday night coming up. Got Sevens Wild with my cuz on 3-Star Draw. So we'll do it to it, my friends. Until then, I will see you guys in the meantime. Yep, 3-Star Draw just dropped a bid. I'm guessing it's on a Street Fighter figure. Those Jada Street Fighters kicking ass. We'll talk about them on Wednesday. But anyway, you guys take care. Have a good night. And I will see y'all Tuesday.